first on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday. Thanks for making Fox 10 Midday a part of your morning. It's January 13th. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. Starting off the day, very cold.
Yes, we are.
But I joked earlier, I did actually wear shorts to work today.
Why?
Because this afternoon's going to be kind of nice.
Don't be like him. That will wear your immune system down. You need to stay warm. Listen, it was one of those mornings where I heated up my car. Like 15 minutes early.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing also because I was wearing shorts, and if I got in there when the car was cold, it was not going to be good. But I had a hoodie on. It worked out. But this afternoon is going to be really nice. In fact, it's pretty out there right now. I love these camera views showing us the amazingly lovely blue sky that we have. And this is one of my favorite types of sky that we get here on the Gulf Coast, where we get these like small, sparsely distributed cirrus clouds over our sky, and it is just beautiful. So there you can see the Mobile River looking good. There, the Cochran-Africatown Bridge from a couple of our camera views. The skyline of Mobile from Daphne also looking just fine this morning. Dauphin Island, cobalt blue sky and a light wind out there. Your forecast takes you through the 50s here, 53 degrees at 1 p.m., 54 at 3 p.m. Orange Beach looking quite nice out there with blue sky. Look at the past. I mean, that would be an amazing place to be, even though it is quite chilly out there today. You can see temperatures over the next few hours, 58 degrees at 2 p.m., 57 degrees at 4 p.m. And you can see the temperatures are getting up there more than they were. 53 in Mobile, 52 Pensacola, 54 in Evergreen. This afternoon we top out right around 60 degrees, 59 in Pensacola. The almanac, that puts our forecast right at average for today. Maybe a smidgen below by like a degree or two. The forecast headlines, though, mild afternoon is ahead. Cold front does bring a chance for rain showers on Wednesday. So tonight we see increasing cloud cover, then chance of rain showers on Wednesday morning and Wednesday evening. Then another front arrives this weekend. In between, we have some very cold air to talk about. So a lot to talk about in this forecast over the next 7 days. I'll have the details coming up.
All right, Nick, thank you. In our headlines today, we're starting to get our first look at what's truly happening inside Iran after 4 days in the dark. And the situation is deteriorating, with more than 600 demonstrators killed in the last week, though opposition leaders say the real number is in the thousands. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
After 4 days of being cut off from the world, information is slowly starting to trickle out of Iran, where demonstrators have been facing off against security forces for more than a week. There's said to be heavy security in the capital, Tehran. One witness told Fox News the protest sites resembled a battlefield, with police using live ammunition against protesters. Some experts say it's a sign of desperation.
Their economy is in free fall. They're suffering from a shortage of water. All of those things have fueled these protests, and it threatens Iran's regime.
But Iran's government is claiming the situation is under control, even as the death toll continues to climb.
Our people have shown that they defend Iran with full authority and complete courage.
Tehran says communication with the White House remains open, and they're pushing diplomacy as President Trump threatens military action, though some administration officials say a U.S. strike on Iran is not imminent.
Right now, it's really a matter of watching what is an organic movement coming up from very, very disgruntled, rightfully so, Iranian people.
And most experts agree if the U.S. gets involved, it likely won't cause a regime change.
It's really unclear whether this sort of intervention will result in much.
Iran is also said to be moving sensitive equipment and military hardware to bomb-proof bunkers in preparation for possible American airstrikes. And defense forces in Israel are now on high alert for possible Iranian airstrikes that could follow any U.S. intervention. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And new today, Peter Mandelson says he's sorry he remained friends with Jeffrey Epstein after the sex offender's conviction. The former British ambassador to the U.S. is facing criticism for his limited apology on Sunday. Now he's trying again, this time offering more sympathy for Epstein's victims. Emails showing he called Epstein's conviction wrongful and should be challenged led to his removal as ambassador in September. He says he was wrong to believe Epstein's lies. In the meantime, House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer announced the committee will move to hold former President Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress. The move coming after Mr. Clinton did not show up to speak before the committee about his relationship with disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Last July, the committee's subpanel on federal law enforcement unanimously approved subpoenas for 10 people who are said to have a relationship with Epstein. Comer says they are not accusing Clinton of any wrongdoing. They just want to ask him some questions.
And then we know that Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane somewhere around 27 times after the presidency. So no one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions.
And former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is subpoenaed to speak before the panel tomorrow, but she is expected to not show up as well. Meanwhile, the issue of transgender women competing on women's school sports teams is set to be settled once and for all. The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments on the matter today. Idaho and West Virginia will defend their bans as civil rights attorneys argue they violate the Constitution. The Trump administration will also appear to defend the bans. The position that the bans are illegal hinges on the Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment. And as of now, 27 states have them. Last year, the justices weighed in on the issue in a different matter. They allowed the Trump administration to ban transgender people from serving in the military. After a weekend of protests, people continue to gather in Minneapolis over concerns about the Trump administration's immigration policies. This all comes as the state of Minnesota files a lawsuit calling for changes to ICE's tactics. Fox News senior multimedia reporter Caroline Elliott has the story.
Protesters are back out here at this federal building just outside of Minneapolis as state officials are now taking this fight to court. Go back! Officers shooting pepper balls and deploying tear gas to break up protests in Minneapolis as arrests continued overnight. Crowds have gathered outside the federal building each day, calling for justice after the fatal shooting of a woman by an ICE agent. It's one of many demonstrations across the country demanding accountability.
This is just an example of the disgusting actions that have been taken by the Department of Homeland Security.
With DHS pledging to deploy additional immigration officers, Minnesota is taking its fight to court. The state joined Illinois in filing separate lawsuits against the Trump administration, arguing its immigration crackdown is violating the Constitution and straining local police resources.
Emergency operations have been activated across our city and state agencies, pulling focus on daily core services that we, by the way, are tasked with providing.
But DHS is accusing state and local officials of prioritizing politics over public safety. They say some of the people they've arrested have lengthy criminal records, including convictions of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault.
You look at the list of the illegal criminals that ICE is removing from our communities every day, not a single person in those protests would want those individuals in your neighborhood.
And today, President Trump took to Truth Social, telling the people of Minnesota to fear not, saying that the day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Just outside of Minneapolis, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
And in local headlines now, we are learning more about a shooting right outside Murphy High School. According to Mobile police, officers responded to Murphy High Friday night just before 8:30. The basketball game had been postponed because of condensation on the court. Police say as people left the gym, a fight broke out on South Carlin Street and continued over to Clearmont Street. That's when gunfire erupted and one teenager was shot. We're told the victim is expected to recover. But with no arrests in the case, it's causing more uneasiness among students, parents, and staff.
It's a little disconcerting since they have cameras at the school. and I hope they catch and prosecute whoever did that.
Now, if you know anything about this shooting, you are urged to call Mobile Police right away. And remember, you can remain anonymous. Well, meanwhile, there was ramped up security at last night's basketball game between Murphy and Theodore. On top of numerous officers at the game, the Mobile County Public School System says everyone is required to walk through a metal detector. Mobile County School Board member Johnny Hatcher says the school system's top priority is always the safety of the students.
I love our school system. I believe it is safe. I think things happen from time to time, and it's sad that we have to beef it up. It really is. It's shameful on their part, not ours, but we really have worked hard to ensure the safety of these children. We're going to continue it.
While the game went on, sheriff's deputies were driving around the parking lot there with blue lights on, and Mobile police officers walked around the neighborhood. Well, happening now, a barge is still burning in the Mobile River this morning, just a day after it first ignited. We are taking a live look now over the Mobile River, still seeing a little bit of that smoke, not as much as yesterday, but still a very active incident. Let's go back to when the flames first started around 7:30 yesterday morning. Fire crews were on scene within minutes trying to put the flames out. Since then, we've learned that the barge was carrying scrap metal cars. Currently, no reports of any injuries, but if you are traveling in this area, just a heads up, you'll continue to see that smoke today. And happening today, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey will give her 9th and final State of the State address. Ahead of her address, Governor Ivey says the state is entering the legislative session with strong momentum. She points to a recent announcement that Lilly Medicine plans to invest $6 billion in a new manufacturing facility in our state. The governor says her priorities continue to be improving education, strengthening public safety, keeping a conservative budget, and planning for America's future. Alabama Representative Adeline Clark of Mobile will be giving the Democratic caucus response to the governor's address, and it's set to start at 6 p.m. tonight. Stay tuned to Fox 10 News for continuing coverage. It's 11:11 now on your Tuesday. Still to come, a local Jewish leader reacting to the synagogue fire in Mississippi. Police do have the suspect in custody this morning. Plus, snowbirds gathering this morning in Foley. Stephen Moody tells you why after the break. But first, Nick, I know the snowbirds were trying to escape the cold only to be met with a little more of it.
Yeah, but this afternoon, 60 degrees, that is a little bit of an improvement. So we're calling it a cold morning, mild afternoon. We're going to have some increase in cloud cover late, but we have more cold weather on the way for the Gulf Coast. I'll have the details in your full forecast on the other side of the break.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. We are learning more about an arson fire at Mississippi's largest synagogue. Take a look at this surveillance video on your screen. It shows a person with a canister pouring a liquid throughout the Beth Israel congregation in Jackson. Some of the liquid appears to drip on the person's clothing. And as you can see, the individual is wearing a mask, long pants, and a hoodie. The suspect has since been identified as Stephen Pittman. He is in custody and is expected to face charges. According to the FBI, Pittman admitted to setting the fire due to the building's, quote, Jewish ties. In the meantime, Joseph Metz is president of the Mobile Jewish Federation. Beth Israel is more than just a synagogue to him. In fact, it's where he grew up. He says the loss goes far beyond his childhood memories. It affects the entire Jewish community.
It just goes back to a lot of what we've talked about in the past is, there's no room in this world for hate. And, we need to, as a society, realize that we are all the same. Security is going to continue to be of the utmost importance, but we're not going to let it deter us from being out and doing things and supporting our community.
Despite the loss, Metz says the community is staying strong. Listen to this. The Los Angeles Fire Department battled a massive office building fire of their own in Winnetka this morning. Flames engulfing this two-story building here in the San Fernando Valley. One person, we're told, was hospitalized for smoke inhalation. Thankfully, no firefighters were hurt, and the cause of the blaze is under investigation. Well, here comes the sun after 45 days of polar night. People in Russia's far northern Taymyr Peninsula welcome the first appearance of the sun today after a very long winter's night. They performed the Hyro Circle Dance, which is a ritual uniting all 5 local indigenous ethnic groups. The sun doesn't stay around too long on its first day back, though. It lasts only a few minutes. Then it'll be twilight for about another month, followed by a period known as white nights. On May 19th, their polar day will begin.
Bitter cold out there this morning. Now crystal blue skies. This has been one of the prettiest sky days that we've seen in quite a while. This is Pensacola Beach there. If you have any photos of the sky today, please send them in on the Fox 10 weather app. Absolutely gorgeous stuff there. Our forecast focuses on cold with a couple of very cold mornings ahead in the forecast, including Friday morning. And it says 32 here on Monday, but I have a feeling that we might see some numbers lower than this in some spots on Monday morning. This is a result of 2 cold fronts coming our way in our forecast, so let's just break this down. Our headlines feature a mild afternoon ahead for us here on our Tuesday. Then the cold front number 1 here happens with showers possible on Wednesday. A batch of rain showers in the morning, batch of rain showers in the evening. Another front this weekend. Today, beautiful skies out there. Temperature around 60 degrees in the afternoon, a mild afternoon. Increasing cloud cover late in the day as we prepare for our next rain chance. Overnight tonight, your temperatures are in the 40s. 41 degrees in Monroeville, 44 in Mobile, 43 in Gulf Shores, and 46 in Pensacola. These are not as cold as they have been, and we're seeing a bit of a change as we prepare for this system. In fact, your forecast highs tomorrow right around 60 degrees, but mostly cloudy on our Wednesday. And then Thursday, this is after the front has passed, so the front passes late on Wednesday. And then Thursday, the cold air is rushing in, and with the strong northerly wind, our temperatures struggle. And they only get to around 49 degrees in Mobile, 48 in Pensacola, 45 for an afternoon peak high temperature in Grove Hill and Monroeville. So a very cold forecast there, all leading to the coldest point in our forecast, which is Friday morning. Friday morning temperatures with a hard freeze inland, 24 Grove Hill, 23 Monroeville and Evergreen, 24 in Bruton. Temperatures in Mobile right around 29 degrees with a freeze all the way down to the coast on our Friday morning. That will be our coldest point. Now let's talk rain chances. So with these fronts, there is a rain chance with them. We have one rain chance here on Wednesday, that's a 40% rain chance, and an itty bitty small tiny little rain chance on Saturday. Not concerned about that one. Going to focus on Wednesday here. Wednesday, we have your Futurecast here. So this is Tuesday evening, and you can see the cloud cover rolling in. So tonight you'll notice that. Then on Wednesday morning, some scattered rain showers about. So early in your morning commute, you might need the rain gear just in case. There is no chance for thunderstorms on our Wednesday. Good news there. There's a break in the rain in the middle of the day. So if you have midday plans, you might see some sun, but then in the evening, more rain showers are possible as the front actually passes. And you'll notice you see the flow changing more out of the north there. It is going to be a cold northerly wind, only around 1/4 of an inch of rain. With that, we'll keep an eye on Saturday, that 7-day outlook. Some cold temperatures with multiple cold fronts in the forecast. Temperatures go all the way down to 29 by Friday morning.
Thank you, Nick. Well, the city of Foley continued with a long-standing tradition of welcoming its visitors with its annual Snowbird Coffee event. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more on how visitors from all across the country are enjoying our area.
We are inside, out of the cold, for the annual Foley Snowbirds Coffee event. And last year when we were here, over 700 people came out to say hello to each other, to make new friends, and to learn more about the city of Foley. This year's theme, as you can see around us with these beautiful colors, it is a theme that's familiar to all of us. It is Mardi Gras, and everyone who is here is excited to learn more about the city and to learn more about the traditions. It was a line outside of the door for the annual Snowbirds Coffee event. put on every year by the City of Foley, the South Baldwin Chamber, and Main Street Foley. This year's theme is a familiar one for people who live here. That's because it's Mardi Gras. And in keeping with the theme, it was a big party with plenty of people making new friends.
When we come down in the winter, it's a second family to us. And people are just so nice. All of the stores, all the people we meet, it's just wonderful.
Visitors were given welcome bags filled with coupons, information about the area, and other cool items. Last year, 700 people came out to celebrate, and that includes Mary Falkenberg, who has visited Foley for over 30 years. And besides the beach, she says the food keeps her coming back.
Go to all the restaurants here. They're really good.
And people are already looking forward to next year's event.
I think it's a great thing that they do, just to bring the people in and welcome them to their city.
And after they leave here, they're all giving little slips where they'll be able to participate in the yearly scavenger hunt. We're talking prizes up to $1,000 in value. So a lot to do here today in Foley. Even if it's cold, these people are still coming out to enjoy it. Reporting here in Foley, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, Stephen, thank you. We're so glad to have them in our backyard here. Well, listen to this. A new species of fish has been discovered, and it's mugging for an underwater camera. Meet Bumpy the snailfish. Sarah Wall talked to folks at the Dauphin Island Sea Lab about what exactly is swimming in our waters. In Depth with Sarah Wall, Dauphin Island Sea Lab is available right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app and, of course, on our Fox 10 Facebook page. Straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, the Alabama legislative session begins today. We have a full preview of what lawmakers plan to work on. These stories and much more heading your way on Fox 10 Midday after this. Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. Alabama's legislative session kicks off today in Montgomery. And just like every year, lawmakers will need to pass a general fund. It covers the state's expenses for the next year and an education fund as well. There are also a handful of bills about whether to expand or get rid of the death penalty. And bills aimed at making voting easier for voters with special needs.
We just simply need to remove or amend that language so that disabled persons are free to have someone act on their behalf.
There have also been bills pre-filed to change what happens in Alabama classrooms. Those include increasing penalties for students who threaten the safety of fellow students and staff, and deciding whether gender discussion can take place in Alabama classrooms. We will keep you updated as the legislative session unfolds. Well, Florida's 60-day regular legislative session also kicks off today. The session starting this morning with Governor Ron DeSantis' 8th and final State of the State in the House chamber. The governor is expected to talk about some accomplishments, the state's affordability crisis, and the push to get rid of property taxes. Well, a bill to restrict lawmakers from trading stocks might head to the House floor soon. Republican Congressman Brian Steele is proposing to ban lawmakers, along with their spouses and children, from buying stocks while they are in office. The bill, called the Stop Insider Trading Act, also wants lawmakers to disclose the sale of any of their stocks covered by the law at least 7 days before they are sold off. The proposal comes as Congress faces ethical concerns over lawmakers potentially benefiting from insider trading. Any lawmakers who break the law would face fines and be required to sell off the stock. Still to come right here on Fox 10 Midday, the U.S. Marshals is looking for a well-known actor. The reason why coming up. Plus, it's after the holidays now, and you're probably trying to figure out how to deal with all of that credit card debt. We have some tips for you in today's Did You Know? But first, Nick, any tips for dealing with today's forecast?
Today's forecast, enjoy it. Enjoy the blue sky and just grab a light jacket. Now, as we go to Wednesday we have a chance for rain. It's around 40%. We actually had to bump that rain chance because of higher coverage in the models of morning and then evening rain chance. I'll have Futurecast also talking temperatures in your forecast on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in. It's time for your half-hour headlines on this Tuesday. Actor Timothy Busfield is facing child sex abuse charges, and U.S. Marshals are searching to bring him into custody. The Emmy Award winner currently has an arrest warrant for 2 counts of criminal sexual contact of a minor. According to the Albuquerque Police Department, 2 children have alleged that Busfield inappropriately touched them at the age of 7 while they were on the set of the TV show known as The Cleaning Lady, which Busfield directed and acted in. The investigation started in November 2024, and an arrest warrant was issued on January 9th. And then a police drone helps find a missing child. A family in Las Vegas called 911 to report their child missing. The Las Vegas Metro Police Department deployed their drone as a first responder, and using a thermal camera was able to detect heat sources coming from behind a nearby backyard that looked like a small child. The drone pilot was able to relay that information to dispatchers and guide officers to the child, who was safely reunited with their family. And finally, newly released video shows a spooked out carriage horse running out of New York City's Central Park and crashing into several vehicles last Thursday. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. You can see the video behind me here. But as police investigate the incident, there are renewed calls from groups to ban horse carriages in the city. Groups say the carriages amount to animal cruelty and also have a negative impact on public safety. Well, starting soon, you'll need a real ID to fly, or it'll cost you. Small biz optimism is on the rise, and the cost of bedtime procrastination. Fox's CJ Papa has today's business headlines.
Flying is about to get a little more expensive if you don't have proper ID. Starting February 1st, TSA will charge a $45 fee to those without real ID, a passport, or other acceptable forms of identification.
This is a continuance of the Real ID enforcement. We're trying to make sure that they are who they say they are.
Officials recommend travelers without a Real ID pay the fee in advance by uploading documents into an online portal. An encouraging sign on the economy. The National Federation of Independent Business Small Business Index rose to 99.5 in December, an improvement from November. NFIB Chief Economist Bill Dunkelberg says while Main Street business owners remain concerned about taxes, they anticipate favorable economic conditions in 2026 due to waning cost pressures, easing labor challenges, and an increase in capital investments. And a new survey shows bedtime procrastination is stealing hundreds of hours of sleep from Americans. Data shows most of this comes from revenge bedtime, intentionally staying up late to enjoy personal time, even if it'll impact your sleep schedule. The survey says Americans stay up late about every other night, which results in losing about 332 hours of sleep per year. CJ Papa, Fox News.
11:35 is your time. The Fairhope Pier. Look off in the distance. You see a few more clouds. We're keeping an eye on our next weather maker, which is within view. Not necessarily in our skies just yet. You're going to notice more clouds by this evening. And tonight we should have a nice sunset as we have a chance for rain tomorrow. You can see off in the distance, way away from us over Texas. This is our next weather maker getting ready to get going here. We're going to have a chance for rain showers on Wednesday. There is no chance for thunderstorms. We are A-OK there. There's that batch of clouds here rolling over Dauphin Island now in southern Mobile County, southern Jackson County. That's what we were looking at off in the distance from that Fairhope Pier camera. Otherwise, it's a mostly blue day here on the Gulf Coast. This next system will bring us a chance at rain showers and no thunderstorms. Wednesday, we have a 40% chance of rain. What happens is we have a rain chance early in the morning, then a rain chance in the evening as the actual front passes. Then we're good and off to the races for some cold temperatures as we get to Thursday and Friday. HRRR Futurecast model today shows just a few clouds around a really nice day. This is 6 p.m. on our Tuesday, and it's just looking fine. A great sunset out there. Then Wednesday morning, you have rain showers that start to move in. Again, no thunderstorms with this, so this is just a light rain. We don't get a lot out of this, so it's not going to be very heavy. It's just going to pass in the morning, maybe some light rain gear needed. Then around midday, I'll pause it here at noon. Notice a lot of the rain showers have gone away. In fact, in the early afternoon, we might get a break and actually get some breaks in the clouds. on Wednesday. Then Wednesday evening, we have more showers that come through. This is in association with the front itself. And there we could see some rain showers that pass. And look at what happens. Look at the clouds. You notice that the clouds are streaming from north to south here. That is the cold air blowing in. By Thursday morning, we will be very, very cold. We really don't get a lot of rain from this system. You notice that secondary push here. This is actually from the Saturday system that's coming with our next cold front next weekend. So we have some time before we get to that one, but go ahead and plan on that Wednesday rain shower likelihood. 54 degrees with blue sky right now at Orange Beach. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful skies right now downtown Mobile. 53 degrees, a nice cool and sunny day. Cool and sunny, we'll take it. 60 degrees in the afternoon with some increasing clouds late in the day. Then Thursday is the day where we have the colder air that comes in. So if you have plans to be outside Thursday, 40s. Our temperature is really quite cold. In fact, Friday morning, all the way down to the 20s, 24 degrees in our inland spots, the Highway 84 corridor. Gear up for those cold temperatures. Next front passes on Saturday with an itty-bitty rain chance, and then colder temperatures early next week.
All right, Nick, thank you. We are officially kicking off the new year, many of us buried in credit card debt. Americans own, in fact, more than $1.2 trillion, and a lot of people are behind on their bills. Now complaints about debt collectors are soaring. Susan Campbell shows us what you need to know if you're facing a mountain of overdue debt.
Debt can cause a lot of stress. If collectors are calling, it makes it all feel worse. So it is important to come up with a plan. The very first thing you need to do is figure out exactly how much debt you actually have.
So let's just give it a run.
The actors with Murder, Inc. are rehearsing for their next performance.
So let's begin, shall we?
And that's spelled I-N-K because we write all of our murder mysteries.
Greg Lutz owns a company and has poured everything into it for years.
I'll tell you, I had about 60 grand in debt, most of that on credit cards, because you get the zero balance and you transfer it to this one and transfer it to that one. But then when the time's up, boy, it really raises the interest and the principal. You don't even know what the principal is anymore.
And that was mostly for the business?
Exactly, yes, all for the business.
The debt started to pile up during the pandemic when nobody was going to shows. Greg spent more working on new shows to try and get new revenue. Then the debt collectors started calling.
They would threaten me with, we're going to own Murder, Inc. We're going to own your house.
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
That's what you've worked for years and years and years.
Exactly. And then you can't help it, as somebody who at that time wasn't informed, there's a little panic attack. And you start thinking, well, maybe I should listen to them. I mean, they're telling me I don't have any other choices.
Here's the thing. Greg did have other choices, and so do you.
A lot of consumers are getting collection calls these days.
Jim Triggs is the CEO of the nonprofit Money Management International, which helps people get out of debt.
90-day delinquencies on credit cards are up over 12% of the entire portfolio, which is astronomically high. We haven't seen numbers like that since the Great Recession.
He says it's important to know your rights when it comes to debt collectors.
They can't call you at times that are inconvenient for you. That's usually before 7 a.m., after 9 p.m. They can't threaten to put you in jail for not paying your debt or threaten you in general. They can't harass you at work if you tell them not to call you at work.
Still, we've seen a big spike in complaints about debt collectors. According to data from the Federal Trade Commission, in the first 3 quarters of 2024, the FTC got about 44,000 reports about debt that wasn't owed or abusive and threatening debt collection practices. During the same time in 2025, that number jumped to almost 195,000. Greg says for him, it was almost impossible to figure out which debt collectors were even legitimate.
And a lot of them were fraudulent, but you don't know that when they call you.
So he asked for help from MMI and got on a plan to pay off everything with reduced interest rates. Are you paid off?
I am, well, I have 1 month left. So 1 month left.
Do you see that relief all over his face?
And you are the one!
It's relief and excitement for a new season of new shows. Before you pay a debt collector, verify the debt. MMI says you should ask for the company's name, business address, and contact information, and then ask for written verification of the debt itself. I'm Susan Campbell.
Some good advice there. Listen to this. Exercise and a better diet may help a pregnant woman lower her risk of gestational diabetes. Researchers looked at data from more than 100 studies involving almost 36,000 women. They found that lifestyle changes decrease the risk by 10 to 20%, depending on the definition of gestational diabetes used and the group of women examined. Exercise, including aerobics, strength training, and walking, were the most effective in lowering the risk. Researchers also determined the women did better when working on these lifestyle changes in a group with newly trained facilitators. Well, meanwhile, the Trump administration reached an agreement with drug maker AbbVie that it says will drop the price of some medicines. Officials at AbbVie say they will offer these medications to Medicaid and consumers at the lowest price available in peer countries. Other meds will also be sold at discounted costs. Among the drugs that are part of, quote, most favored nation pricing includes Combigan, which treats glaucoma, and Synthroid, a thyroid hormone medication. The specifics of the discounts were not disclosed, however. Analysts say it's too soon to tell what sort of impact this will have on Americans' budgets. Straight ahead on the show, a popular fast food chain is helping you double up on your protein today for your burrito or your bowl. We'll tell you who that is. Plus, mullets taking center stage in Pennsylvania. And no, we are not talking about the fish as you can see on your screen. Your Midday Talkers are next. Welcome back. Chipotle hops on the protein train by offering rewards members a free deal.
Yeah, today Chipotle rewards members can get a free extra scoop of protein.
Ooh, you can score the deal on bowls, burritos, and salads by using the code PROTEIN on the app at checkout. Simple to remember.
The offer is only valid for orders placed through the chain's app. So if you're doing a mobile order at Chipotle today, get yourself an extra scoop.
I love it. I always ask for an extra scoop the way it is, so that's kind of awesome that it's free. You definitely need to get your protein in. Okay, listen, we were just talking about this over the break. I'm not a health expert, but protein's important. And typically you want to, I think it's like the amount of protein you eat has to be equal to your body weight in grams. Fun fact.
Medical advice and health advice with Ashley Mitchell.
That's right. Okay, well, listen to this. A mullet contest in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on Monday was a family affair.
A packed crowd was on the edge of their seats as they watched contestants of all ages show off their best mullets.
The memorable hairstyle has endured the decades. Once the common haircut of Canadian hockey players and hard metal bands, it's faced a resurgence for women and men alike.
Around 150 competitors and more than 1,000 spectators attended the contest at the Pennsylvania Farm Show.
Yeah, participants and organizers say it was a quirky event, of course, showcasing the power of the mullet.
Participants were judged on the style of their cut, their presentation, and their sense of commitment.
I love it. There's some good mullets on that screen there.
There's a lot of characters on that screen.
Different types of mullets. We see some long ones, some short ones. My nephew currently has a mullet. He is 7 years old, and he thinks he is like the coolest thing since sliced bread.
I've seen a few kids with it.
Yeah, it's coming back. Would you ever have a mullet?
Absolutely not.
Can you imagine you on air with a mullet?
No.
That hair would be blowing when you were doing your segment.
Absolutely not.
Well,
unacceptable.
Listen to this. Waking up too early if it doesn't come naturally might not be good for your health.
So this is a super interesting thing. The Wall Street Journal reports sleep experts are sounding the alarm against a viral trend of getting up at 5 a.m., which is literally the time I got up this morning.
Oh, okay. So this is for you. The report says a lot of people are not getting the recommended amount of sleep per night, and forcing yourself to wake up too early could lead to some health problems, including sleep deprivation. When I think of sleep deprivation, I think of you, Nick.
I got 6 hours.
And then you got 30 minutes the day before. We have this conversation every morning. I always say, good morning. How much did you sleep last night?
See, now this one was a good one. 6 hours. Good. Anyways, the report says the person's ideal time to wake up is related to their chronotype.
Interesting. Sleep experts say getting more hours of shut-eye sunlight and limiting caffeine or alcohol could help you get out of bed a little easier. Some great advice there, Nick, for you.
Well, listen, when your life is dictated by the weather, you never know when you're going to sleep. I haven't slept since the day I started here.
2 years.
So I don't know how long that was.
Maybe you're a harder worker than I am, so props to you.
But that's just what you do as a meteorologist. That's just how it goes.
He does it for you. So if you see him, be sure to thank him for his efforts.
All right, a beautiful day out. This is one of the most beautiful pictures that we have seen. The crystal cobalt blue skies of Dauphin Island. I'll have another look at that forecast coming up.
Welcome back. From paragliding to skiing, these extreme sports can sometimes have extreme risks. In today's Take a Look at This, Cole Higgins shares some totally tricky situations, all caught on camera.
Take a look at this.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh!
That's a paraglider in Riviera Beach, Florida, falling 500 feet into the water.
When I heard the number, I was actually quite blown away.
Sarah Williamson is a lifeguard with Palm Beach County Ocean Rescue. Williamson was scanning the beach when she noticed the motorized paraglider losing control. And like a scene straight out of Baywatch, she sprang into action.
I just started running and I radioed to my partner, grabbed our rescue board and rescue tube and paddled out in tandem.
Williamson says a nearby snorkeler who was diving.
He was a godsend because we did not have a mask and he was able to get underwater and free the man.
In the end, the paraglider who was wearing a helmet only suffered cuts and scrapes. From the sea to the snow to oh no, this skier was briefly buried in an avalanche while skiing in Colorado. While a group of 3 were skiing in Rocky Mountain National Park, 2 of them say they got caught in an avalanche that they helped trigger by the way they were skiing. This skier suffered a dislocated shoulder while grabbing a tree, and another was caught in the snowslide, but all 3 managed to escape without further injury. And finally, back to the water. This kangaroo jumped into the pool at a theme park in Australia's Victoria State, where residents, and I guess kangaroos too, have sweltered in a heat wave. Enjoy cooling off, buddy. For Take a Look at This, I'm Cole Higgins.
I love it. Yeah, very different conditions there for sure.
Summer there. It's very much winter here. It's very cold this morning. This afternoon's comfortable. Temperature getting up to 60 degrees this afternoon. So really nice stuff. And we have this beautiful blue sky. The beach looking lovely. It would be nice to go take a walk down at the beach with a nice light jacket today. 54 degrees. Calm winds out there at Orange Beach. Downtown Mobile, east wind at 6 miles per hour. I noticed a lot of folks been walking around out here. This would be a great day to just go sit in Mardi Gras Park. It's 53 degrees. If you have any photos of the lovely sky that we have out there, you can send them in on the Fox 10 weather app this afternoon. Again, topping out around 60 degrees, a mild afternoon. This evening, you can notice more clouds rolling in. And tomorrow, we have a rain chance. Here's your futurecast. So you see the clouds rolling in, all that white, that is the cloud cover that rolls in. And then on Wednesday morning early, we start to see these rain showers. There's no chance for thunderstorms. It is just going to be rain showers, and they will be light, very widely scattered. Not going to rain all day, not even going to rain all morning. By the afternoon, we have a clearing spot before the evening. Another batch of rain showers rolls through. This is associated with the front. Then after this, dry and cold air pushes in. Thursday, there are your temperatures in the afternoon, only in the 40s. Friday morning, we're all the way down in the 20s. So it is really quite cold, a little spell here, especially Thursday into Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we get up to a nice 60 degrees. Then we have another front day in the weekend.
All right, riding the weather roller coaster on the Gulf Coast, as we like to say. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. We ended in the nick of time here, Nick. We'll be back with Fox 10 Live at 3. Taking a live look outside at the beach.